Margaret Roach Wheeler was born in Sisseton, South Dakota in 1943 to Chickasaw original enrollee Ruby Massey Roach and Diamond Roach. As the youngest of three children, Margaret began her education in Browning, Montana, where her father was a school administrator at Cut Bank Boarding School. Margaret also attended Concho Indian School in El Reno, Oklahoma, and Sequoia Indian School in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. She knew from the first grade she wanted to be an artist. Through her early years of self-taught discipline and coordination in the arts, Margaret was always the class artist and was selling paintings by the time she was in high school. Margaret Roach Wheeler is an award-winning weaver, fiber expert, textile artist, and designer. She was one of 4 Native American fashion designers chosen to speak at the George Gustav Hay Center at the Smithsonian National Museum of the American Indian, where she also served as the NMAI Artist in Residence.
Margaret came to the National Museum of the American Indian in May and June of 2000, and she wanted to study fiber materials, cloth materials of Chickasaw, Mississippian culture. The program that she was involved in at the time was called the Native Arts Program, and I think she was able to take away from the Smithsonian, from the National Museum, those images she used in her textiles. All that she learned and saw and experienced at the museum is now being taught to other people on a continual basis, and I think that's what's important to the Smithsonian and to the National Museum of the American Indian.
She has exhibited works at the Museum of Art and Design in New York and the Institute of American Indian Arts Museum in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and numerous other museums and public venues. Miss Wheeler's fashion and weaving works have won countless prestigious awards, including the President's Award at Red Earth Festival and Idle Jorg Indian Market Purchase Award for the feather cape and kilt she designed for the Chickasaw Nation's original production, Lowak Chapala.
I think it's definitely important to her because it's a time that she can't visit, but is a huge part of her life. She can go back and research it and recreate through her artistic view what things were like back then.
She also won Best of Class at the Heard Museum Indian Fair and Market in Phoenix and placed Best in Show, first place, and second place in textiles at Tishomingo's 2007, 2008, and 2009 Southeastern Art Show and Market. Margaret is a former educator and now owns her own company, Mahota Handwovens, where she designs and markets traditional Native American regalia from material that she herself hand weaves.
Margaret certainly is one of the few persons that I know that her identity transcends and translates very directly to her art. Being a Chickasaw has been probably one of the most important influences that she has brought to our community because she has been a good teacher, an excellent artist, by far, probably one of the most prolific, successful, well-known fiber artists in this country.
We had just created the Division of Arts and Humanities, and I was researching Chickasaw artists all over. And I was so intrigued by her art, her talent, because she's really one of the very few fiber artists and textile artists that does what she does, literally in the United States. She sent me images of the work that she did, and it was so unique and so exciting and just so different from anybody else that I thought, here's someone who's really connected with who they are as a Chickasaw.
When I first met Margaret, I wasn't working at the Art Center. I was actually working in the reference department of the library, and Margaret would always come over there researching this or that, looking for books, looking at other artists' work. When I got the position at Spiva, she'd been part of Spiva for a very long time. She's a natural storyteller through her art. She has an extremely generous heart and spirit, and she'll share what she knows quite freely.
She actively participates in Chickasaw Nation events and generously offers her time to teach Chickasaw youth in the Chickasaw Nation Summer Arts Academy, which she considers a priority activity.
I'm speechless how proud I am. It's unreal, the feeling that, Grandma's gonna be honored in this way, and I know Grandpa couldn't be happier for her. He's really excited, and she just puts her heart into everything she does, and I really hope that that's carried over into me. I hope I can be dedicated and apply what I love to do and succeed at it like she does.
The Chickasaw Nation proudly inducts Margaret Roach Wheeler into the 2010 Hall of Fame.
Help me welcome to the stage for the presentation of her medallion, Margaret Roach Wheeler.
How do you follow that? Oh, I said I was going to try to control the emotions tonight, but hearing my grandson, ooh, it's scary. I want to thank Governor Anatubby and all the people of the Chickasaw Nation that are here tonight, and family and friends. What a wonderful thing to have all these people together to share this moment with me. 2 months ago, I knew I was going to have to get up and talk. And the things that go through your mind about a life's work and what do you say. So I finally decided what I wanted to do is share with you my hoods, my childhood. When you're born to parents named Diamond and Ruby Roach, you know immediately you're going to have this luxurious childhood. And I did. What my parents taught me was stability. They gave me that, a strong foundation, and especially love. And to be able to grow from that was, anything else would just be easy. My father always said, "You are from the civilized tribes, and you will act in a civilized way." And so I took that to heart, and I have always tried to conduct myself so that I could be proud of my Chickasaw heritage. But at 14 years old, I met Glenn Wheeler. At 19, we were married and had 2 children. What a glorious experience it is to be able to bring children into the world, to nourish them, to provide them with a good home, and to love. Those were joyous years of my life. I was growing up with my children. But during that time, I was also getting college education. And it took me 12 years, 4 schools, to get a degree. And by the time my children were ready for secondary school, I was ready to teach. And as you saw, art has been my passion my whole life. And so I was teaching art on a secondary level. What do you learn? I was going to tell you about my hoods, and I went right over motherhood was the second one. The third one is my teacherhood. And in teacherhood, what that taught me made me able to stand up in front of you tonight. It taught me organization, it taught me time management skills, and it also taught me that if you can stand up in front of 100 children a day, high school students, and organize them, manage them, and make them productive, you can do anything else with your life. And so that's given me the courage to go on. And then in 1984, my son graduated from college, and it opened up a whole new avenue of my life because no longer did we need that extra income. And so my husband, who had always supported me, 50 years of supporting, we just celebrated our 50th anniversary last month. I say we celebrated our 50th anniversary in Alaska without any clothes, but you have to realize they just lost our luggage. But when I had the opportunity to begin my weaverhood, it was the creative part of my life. It was the time that I could create costumes that weren't going to sell. Because my husband said, when I first started on doing the business of Mahota Handwovens, that I will put the roof over your head and I'll put the food in your mouth. I just won't buy your blankety blank yarn. Again, a wonderful opportunity for me. I've been very blessed. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, they had a listening conference in Oklahoma City. And I thought, I would love to know more about the Chickasaws. I was raised all over the United States with different Indian tribes, but I had never lived near my tribe. And I'd always read the Chickasaw Time. I've been a Chickasaw citizen since the late 70s, I believe. And get my Chickasaw Times, I would read everything. And I thought when the listening conference opportunity came, that I would go. And so I called and made an appointment with Lona Barrett, who was head of the Chickasaw Arts and Humanities, took my portfolio, and that really took me on a whole new adventure. And that was coming into Lowak Shopala. She introduced me to Jared Tate and to Linda Hogan, and Lowak was probably one of the best experiences of my life. I had never worked in theater. I've never done costume for theater. I even got to do the stage set. And I thank James Wallace for helping me get through that because it was really a wonderful group of people that worked on that. It was harmonious. It's just an uplifting spirit. And then to see it on stage was one of the highlights of my life and my career. So I want to thank those people that were involved in that. Then the other night, Tuesday night, I was here in Norman, and the governor was speaking. And I was listening to him. And at that time, I thought, I had this speech in my head, and I thought, just listening to Governor Anatubby talk to the people, how it paralleled my life. The Chickasaw tribe gives stability, just like my childhood. It makes us feel safe, that we have people who are thinking of us. And then, when you come to motherhood, it's a nourishing time. The programs that they have for children, for health care, for families. What other is motherhood than taking care of your people, taking care of your family? And that's what I see them doing. And then we come to the teacherhood. Education. It's probably one of the most important things that we can do. And I see the Chickasaws doing all kinds of educational programs for children, for adults, for the elders. We have the Chickasaw Arts Academy, which I'm proud to be a part of, teaching fine arts to the Chickasaw children. We also have a space program, the Lego program, which is engineering, language programs. They're teaching. The tribe is teaching. And then finally, when we come to my weaverhood, which was the creative part of my life, I see us blossoming as a tribe in our creativity. We have wonderful books that are being published. We have musical CDs being put out by our students. We have plays being written, like Tiara, and then the Lowak Shopala. So what I want to say is I am so proud to be a Chickasaw, and I am up here realizing that I've gone into another stage of my life. I'm in Chickasawhood. And I want to thank you all for being here tonight and honoring me like this. It's just really a wonderful experience to have a family that has stood, and see, I wasn't going to get emotional, a family that has stood behind me and helped me through every stage. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thank you.